Hello there, this is our third lesson into our new poetry unit, looking at the poem Seagulls by the poet Brian McCabe. But before we move on, let's do a little recap, okay? So when you think about seagulls in the poem, did you think that they were portrayed negatively? Or did you think that the seagulls were portrayed positively? Now, obviously, we can't do a vote whilst we're all working from home, but what I can say is that every single one of you that responded in the last lesson, you all said that you felt they were portrayed negatively, and you gave some really nice examples of quotations from the poem and descriptions in the poem that helped you come to that decision. So well done, guys, well done. Okay, so moving on, what we're going to look at today is personification. And what I'd like you to do is have a little think about what this word means. Now, one of the easiest ways to do this is to literally cut the word in half. So it's personification. So have a little think about that just now. Okay, our learning intentions for this lesson are that we are going to learn about personification and how it can be used to bring characters to life. Why are we learning this? Well, because writers, they use lots of descriptive techniques to make us imagine what the writer is saying and how to make us feel a certain way. Okay, so your success criteria, obviously it's going to be slightly adapted because we aren't in the classroom, but you should be able to understand and explain what personification is and be able to recognize personification in the poem Seagulls and describe its effect on the poem. So for this next task, you will need your jotter or your notebook or your paper that you're using to write on at home, something to write with, and if you could write today's date and the title personification at the top of your page. That way you can very easily go back and look at your notes, because these will really help you with our end of unit assignment. I am going to give you 30 seconds for this next task, okay? When the timer starts, try and think of as many activities a human could do. For example, creep, whisper, scream, sing. Write them all in a list in your jotter and try and think of activities that only a human could really do. We all know that cats and dogs can howl like a scream, but they're not really screaming. They're making animal noises. But try and think of activities that only a human being could do. Okay, I will give you 30 seconds starting now. Okay, we are just coming to the end of that 30 seconds there. So hopefully now, down one side of your page, you will have a list all down one side, possibly your left hand side of your page. Okay. The next task, I want you to think about an object doing these things, these activities, instead of a human, and add the object beside the word on your list. So if you've got a list down your left hand side of activities, you should have a list on your right hand side of an object, okay, like a chair, table, a flag, any sort of inanimate object that you can see in your house right now. Okay, I will start our timer now. You have 30 seconds again. Perfect, guys. Okay, so basically what you have just done is personification. You have personified all of these items by giving them human actions. You have given them human-like qualities and behavior, and that is what personification is. It's giving an inanimate object like a table or a chair or a television or a clock or a mobile phone, something like that, and you're making it behave like a human being. Okay, so for this next task, you will need the personification worksheet. The worksheet has been uploaded into the assignment, so you should be able to find it on there. And you'll also need something to write with. Now, it's up to you if you want to print out the worksheet and fill it out that way, or if you have an iPad or a tablet or something that you can draw on worksheets on PDF docs, then that's perfect. Or if you just want to write it out on a bit of paper, go back old school and take a photograph of it, upload it that way. I'm quite happy with that. Okay. So you will need your personification worksheet and something to write with, okay? Now, normally if we were in the classroom, I would give you a little challenge of completing question 1 on the worksheet in 1 minute, okay? And then I would ask you to share these answers with the class. Now, obviously, we cannot do that today, but if you do want to challenge yourself by doing it all in 1 minute, then I do have a timer ready to start now. If you are finding it a little bit tricky and want to give yourself more time, then feel free to pause the video and do it that way. Okay, so here's your 1 minute timer, everyone. And that is your 1 minute timer up, guys. So I wonder how you got on with that. I look forward to seeing your responses. Okay. So for the next task, okay, I would like you to underline as many examples of personification as you can within the poem. Now, normally I would allow you to do this with a partner. Unfortunately, we're not really able to do that today. So you are going to have to work that little bit harder to do that. But don't worry, guys, it's not difficult at all. Once you get the hang of identifying personifications, it's good practice for you. Okay. Now, obviously, we're not going to be able to share this work with the rest of the class. But I can share some of your responses, as I have been doing anonymously on our little team feed. Okay. I want you to have a little think about the human behavior. Okay, so as much as you're underlying the personification, when you do that, just have a little think inside your head about this kind of human behavior and what kind of human behavior this is. What kind of behavior is it? Is it naughty? Is it kind? What kind of behavior is it? Okay. So I will give you again 1 minute to do this. So you're just underlining as many examples of personification as you can within the poem Seagulls by Brian McCabe. Okay, so that is your 1 minute up, guys. Okay, so really, really well done if you've managed to do that. Okay, now this next task is, oh, sorry about that, guys. This next task is a little bit more creative. Okay, and I want you to have fun with this, guys. Okay, I'm pretty sure you maybe would have seen some of the other classes' examples on the wall before the schools closed. And wondered what on earth they were doing. Well, this is exactly what they were doing. Okay, so you will need a blank piece of paper. Unfortunately, I'm not able to provide that to you remotely. A pencil, please, not a pen. If you can't find a pencil, then a pen will be okay, but I would prefer if you used a pencil. Okay, and your copy of the poem with your underlined examples. Okay. Now listen very, very carefully to the instructions here, okay? You want to have your paper in, you don't want it vertically, you want it horizontally. So you want it in landscape as opposed to in portrait, okay? And then you want to split your paper into 3 pieces. Now normally I would fold this as though I were folding a formal letter. So maybe there's a grown-up or an adult or somebody in the house that can help you with that if you struggle with that. But yes, you want to have your A4 paper or your piece of paper kind of in horizontal landscape and fold it into 3, okay? And then I want you to get your 3 examples of human behavior, okay, and write 1 example of personification. Now that would be the quotation, okay, so the actual quotation in each section. So you should have your paper in 3, and each section should have a personification quote at the top of each section, okay? Then what you're going to do is write 1 sentence for each section explaining what this makes you feel about the poem's description of seagull behaviour. And now this is the fun bit where it can be quite hilarious. Draw a picture for each example showing what the poem is describing, okay? I will give you 1 example, okay, of bungee jumping. Now, I don't know about you, but I have never seen a seagull bungee jumping, but I can imagine a picture of one might be quite a funny thing to draw. So yeah, have a little think about that and see how you get on. Now, normally I would give you 10 minutes to complete this task. So what I can do is I can put the timer on if you wish to challenge yourself. If you feel like you would like to take more time over it, then feel free to do so, okay? And guys, if you've got colouring and pens and pencils and things at home, yeah, have fun with it, okay? Be arty, be creative. I know that there's a few of you out there that are really artistic, and you created some really lovely leaflets with our last unit. So yeah, just do what you can. In fact, that's a very good point. The way that you folded your paper with the leaflet is exactly how you would fold it with this task, to fold it into 3. I hope that does help you guys. But again, any questions at all, just send me a little message, and I will try and explain it to you. Try and tell me exactly what part of the lesson you are stuck with. And then I will try and help you with that, okay? So you've got your 3 examples in the 3 different sections. You've got your 3 sentences, 1 for each section explaining how it makes you feel. And then you're going to have 3 little pictures showing what the poem is describing. Okay. So that's us almost coming to the 5 minute. Yep, that's us at the 5 minute halfway mark. If you feel like you are maybe not halfway through and you need a little bit of extra time, then what you can do is you can pause this video to give yourself more time. If you feel like you're way far ahead and you don't need the full 10 minutes, then you can just fast forward slightly. Okay. Okay, so you're just coming up to your last minute now. If you don't think that you've been able to have enough time to do things like colour in or add little embellishments, don't worry about it. You can add these on later. The main task is just to get your quotations down, your sentences down, and a little doodle, a little drawing. I know there's quite a few artists in this class, so you might want to spend a little bit more time adding colour and embellishments to your drawings. So if you want to do that, feel free to do that. If you're not particularly arty and you like the good old stick man like me, then just leave it as it is. It's fine. Great stuff, guys. Okay, so that is you. That's your 10 minutes up for that task, and we will move on from there. Okay, so this is our little summary of what we were learning about today. Okay, so we were learning all about personification, and why were we doing this? Well, we know that Brian McCabe, he used lots of personification to make a point about human behaviour. Not only is he comparing seagulls to humans, he's comparing humans to seagulls, isn't he, really, if you think about it? Okay. So your success criteria, I can understand and explain what personification is. I hope by the end of this video that you feel comfortable explaining what personification is. And I hope that you have been able to recognize personification within the poem Seagulls and describe its effect on the poem. That's what your little sentences are. Your little sentences that you did in your 3 pictures, that's you starting to describe its effect on the poem, because you're describing its effect on you. And you as the reader, the poem is aimed at you, okay? So yeah, and one of the reasons why I said in a lot of your feedback, I gave some of you a little challenge to think about the human behaviour, particularly when we looked at that first image on the See, Think, Wonder task of the teenage gang. Okay, so again, I'll say it again, not only is McCabe comparing seagulls to humans, he's comparing humans to seagulls. So what kind of humans are these seagulls being compared to? And what is he saying about these kinds of people? Okay, how do they behave? So yeah, guys, it's quite a deep poem. It's deeper than maybe you thought it was. It's not all just about seagulls, but as we move through the unit, this will become more obvious to you. I hope that this lesson has helped you understand personification. And thank you very much, guys. And I will see you all very soon. Remember, on a Friday, I do have the FAQ sessions on a Friday morning. So check on the feed what time that happens. It happens at the same time every Friday morning. Feel free to join. Remember, I cannot see you. You can see me. Unfortunately, you can see me and you can hear me. I cannot see you, and you have the option to mute your microphone if you would rather type questions in comments rather than actually speaking to me, particularly if you're maybe working in the living room and it's kind of noisy and there's lots of things going on and you don't really want to have your microphone on. That is fine. Okay. Again, any questions at all, fire me a little message. I'm happy to help. Take care, guys. Bye.